Rayman, look what pirates have done to our world. A planet of anguish and pain, haunted by evil. A dark place teeming with fierce monsters. Nothing can be done. Nothing can stop them now that they've captured you. They've taken everything and reduced our people to slaves. The robots search for innocent prey. In the chaos, they exploded the heart of the world. The thousand lungs of energy which form it have been scattered. We are getting weak. Soon it will be too late. You must escape, Rayman. You are our only hope. Hello and welcome to Rayman 2, The Great Escape. This is one of the old greats of early 3D platformers. And I'll be doing a 100% Let's Play of it. This is a bit out of nowhere, but I really do like this game. So, yeah, we have a lot to do. Rayman? Blowbox, my friend! Are you okay, Rayman? Not really. I feel weak and powerless. I couldn't read the rest of that. You know, Glowbox, I think this might be the end. No, not the end. Glowbox bring good gift from Lee. Lee? The fairy? A silver lung! Incredible! I can feel its energy building up in me. Now I can shoot with my fist again. Blowbox, we're saved! Yahoo! Let's go see Lee. She'll give me all my powers back. And here we are, actually inside the game now. So now, we're just going to shoot that with our fist and start sliding our way down. To give a bit of context, I am playing the PC version with a couple of mods to make the experience a little better, more cleaned up. So, yeah. Anyways. Oof. Uh-oh. Well, goodbye! That's the game! We escaped! And all that fun stuff. Wow. Ooh. At least we survived. But yeah, as I was saying, playing this on the PC version so with a couple of mods to make the experience just a little much better. Not so much that completely kills it, but what the game is supposed to be, but you know, just so the game can work. Oh, Rayman, glad to see that you escaped. And Murphy, I'm here to be your guide. This, you see that stone right next to us? There? It's a magic stone, which can read your thoughts. If you need some help, as close to a stone, I'll quickly appear in your mind to help you. Ugh, no, I don't want you in my mind. Get out of my mind! my advice sounds confusing, stay next to the stone and press F1. And keep F1 pressed. I will appear and repeat the instructions. Yeah, this is an old PC game, so it is just a keyboard game. Like, you can't even use the mouse, which kind of sucks, but hey, there's multiple mods that allow you to use controllers. And because there are Rayman 2 is one of the most heavily ported games, so I am going to be going over all of that uh, pretty soon at the end of this level, so yeah, great. You have smashed the pirate cage. Destroy lots of them. They're full of energy. What's more, you see that bright sphere there? It's a yellow lump. There's a lot of them. Um, they'll give you access to secret places. They'll teach you all the secrets of the world. Take the lump and hold J down. You'll see. J just kind of gives you the totals. Just brings up the HUD. So there's only 5 lumps in this stage and 2 cages, which, yeah, this is the smallest a level is ever going. The Yeah, the smallest a stage is ever going to have. Because trust me, this standard total is going to be like 10 times as much. For lumps, that is, not cages. But yeah, over at the waterfall, there's a hidden lump right over there. We do need all 5 lumps to beat this stage, so it's not that out of the way, but still. Anyways,
He saved Rayman! Where's me?
that is to say we were separated and,
Hey, Glue Box! We want our daddy!
now don't worry, kiddies. I'll bring your dad back. But first, I gotta find Lee. She likes to hang around here. Have you seen her? What?
The mean old pirates took Lee over there!
Hmm. Gotta set her free. Now we gotta... Yeah, just kind of running through it. Tutorial. We don't got much left. So, now over here. Booyah! We get all the lumps, we get the big old wahoo. And the last cage is just right there.
Splendid, Rayman. And the teensies. Congratulate you on your courage. Listen to him. I'm the king of the teensies.
But,
No, I'm the real king.
come on, who's the king?
It's me. Me, 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 no, me!
Stop! Now what's booty? Oh, yeah.
Absolutely must see Lee. You know where she is? That is right.
This is not easy to say, but I have to tell you this. Pirates have taken Lee to the Fairy Glade. They've locked her in one of their strongholds. To find her, you need to go through the Hall of Doors. The hall is a magic place. It leads to many other worlds. Only the teensies know how to get there. The passage requires 5 lumps. I see that you have them. Prepare yourself for a great journey.
Jump in there. And that is the first level. Now we made it to the World Select, and Murphy's here gonna whisper in our ears just how to use the basic game menu.
using the using the buttons to select everything and whatnot.
Anyways, I am actually going to head back into the Woods of Light and actually start uh talking to you guys about different versions of Rayman 2. Give me a moment as I pull up my notes. Right. As stated, alright. Now, there are a lot of different versions of Rayman 2. I am playing the PC version using a couple of mods and using a couple of different mods that to help make the experience better, as I have repeated many times. Uh, yeah, I'm using like a controller support, but I'm also using the Ray 2 Fix configuration launcher thing to help make to give the game controller support and widescreen. You could kind of see the watermark down there. It is a fan-made thing for like for making the game simpler to run for speedrunners. Though I think it's also plenty good for casuals. The PC version what is still available to get on places like GOG and Uplay, on like a Ubisoft's little digital store, whatever it's called, Uplay and Uplay or whatever. It's basically the original game as is, um, with very little differences. But yeah, this version of the game is extremely cheap, going on sales often for only just like $1 or $2. Its base price is about around 5 on GOG, which is pretty much a steal for this game. But, you know, old PC game, like is old PC game, getting it working on modern systems is not an easy task. It took me 2 hours of troubleshooting yesterday just to get the controller to work properly, like as I wanted it to be, like wanted it to work. But yeah, it's now it does run, but yeah, once you get it working, it does run fairly well. I don't think we'll be running into many technical problems as we go through, but yeah. Anyways, after that is the N64 version. The N64 version was actually released earlier than the PC version. Oops. So technically that's the original game, but it does have quite a few differences when compared to the PC version. I mean, obviously being on N64, it has native controller support as and whatever, but it also has a different soundtrack and is basically just a completely different soundtrack as well as different different screen transition. It's not like like Rayman 2 on N64 is great and really is a good version of the game. A really good version of the game. And and thankfully, it is now available on N64 app on for Switch Online expansion pack. So if you want to play this game, hey, that's a very easily accessible place to do so. Though a monthly subscription for this game is kind of bad, but whatever. I have it, so like probably gonna play like Banjo-Kazooie on it as well or whatever. Anyways, a year after, well, actually, was it a year after? Probably, actually, I think it was. After the release of the PC and 64 versions of the game, the Dreamcast version was released. The Dreamcast version is basically the definitive edition. Commonly it's commonly cited by fans as the definitive version of the game. Basically, it has a new hot world, the Isle of Doors. Some new enemies, improved visuals, but also like mini games on top of all of that, like which aren't in most of the other versions of the game. Maybe in the I don't know if it's in the PS2 version, but yeah, there is an entire new area in the like Woods of Light, this area, like a little secret area that you takes you to the Glowbox Village, where you can then play the mini games. You do have to unlock them first and find some hidden collectibles. They're pretty easy and not too out of the way, which is why I'm not really playing the Dreamcast version. I don't have a Dreamcast, and I don't know. Maybe I should just look into like Dreamcast emulation, but you didn't hear me say that, alright? But yeah, the PS2 version, the Dreamcast version of Rayman 2 is easily the definitive version of the game for fans and just commonly cited as the definitive version. And is also the only one that has native, well, actually, it's the first one to have native widescreen support. While I am play, while the PC ver, while I am playing it, while through the Ray 2 fix thing, allows me to have widescreen. It is not clearly made for widescreen, as you could have seen from the opening scene, when Glowbot, you could see Glowbot's belly, before he gets thrown into the jail. And also, if I go to the pause screen here, you can kind of look at the corners and see some triangles like that are like breaking scenes. The PC version was not made for widescreen. Neither was the N64 version, but it's kind of self-explanatory. But whatever. Now moving on to what could be argued as one of the worst versions of Rayman 2, the PS1 version. The PS1 version sucks. It has two things that are going for it, but there is so much that is taken away from the PS1 version that we cannot explain. It only has 800 lungs instead of the 1000s in every other version of the game. And it has rem- and it also removed levels from this game, has truncated levels, so levels are far simpler. So you're missing a lot of the core experience of Rayman 2. But like but it does have one thing going for it. Only one thing. Once you beat the game and you have roughly 90% of the lums, you get to play a full beta bit a full you get an additional level that is basically a beta build of Rayman 2 back when it was a 2D game. In case you didn't know, Rayman 1 was a 2D game and Rayman 2 was going to be built off of that. But at the but then at some point in development, it shifted into a 3D game, reusing the engine from Tonic Trouble. The PS1 version is the only way we could see the we could get a glimpse of this older version, which is kind of cool. With that said, it has been The PS1 version has been digitally re-released on the on PlayStation on the PlayStation Store for PSP, PS3, and the Vita. Kind of lame, but yeah. After that, the PS2 version is basic is the most divisive port of Rayman 2, and one of the most strangest ones. Rayman it got the additional title of Rayman Revolution, and it had some significant changes. It gets rid of the entire level select for a open sandbox area that you get to run around in. It's quite different. Like levels also had some new additions and expansions to them. New collectibles, new mini games. You even have upgrades to the game as you collect lumps. They are not used for progression like they are in every other version of the game. They're used for upgrades, which is interesting. It is a very divisive port because a lot of the changes and additions, a lot of Rayman fans say aren't necessary. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. Like it's it probably has some fans because like was released on the PS2. That was kind of a big console. So like that's one of the best selling consoles. So who knows? It could be someone's childhood and they really love it. And they're just now learning that, oh wait, that version is a little bit more divisive. I don't think it's bad. It's just interesting. It's an interesting version of the game, and people generally, but the fan base generally tends to ignore it for other versions of Rayman 2. The DS version of the game is based off the N64 version. It also goes by a different name, Rayman DS. Trust me, it's just the same game again, but it's basically the N64 version, even having its soundtrack. Because it was a DS game, you used the D-pad to move around, so if you didn't like that, you could use the touchscreen, Mario 64 DS style. Yeah, it's not much to say there. Moving on to, uh, a delisted port of Rayman 2, the iOS version. The iOS version is based off the Dreamcast release and has been delisted, most like has been delisted because of the great uh 32-bit purge, like 32-bit app purge that people had back in like I don't know when, the early 2010s. So yeah, that version is no longer accessible. And besides, do you really want to be playing a 3D action game on your iPhone? Come on. Especially a platformer such as this one. Lastly, of the 3D games, we have the 3DS version, titled Rayman 3D. This one is based off the Dreamcast version, but has removed the minigames of that version and has various audio glitches. The 3DS game is in my opinion the worst version of the game, hands down, because it is very broken and has a lot of audio glitches. Like the game blasts your ears right at the start of the game, and also ha- and also apparently I read this online on the Rayman fan wiki. That's how I got most of this information. of like the different versions of the game through the Rayman wiki. Apparently the 3DS version has simplified obstacles the more lums you collect. So the more lums you get, the easier the game supposedly gets. Which is just kind of weak sauce, if you ask me. Like, that's pretty bad. All of those things compounded together make me say, and especially like performance-wise, the 3DS version is really lacking. I consider it the worst version of Rayman 2. Quite easily. At least the PS1 version is an interesting, is it, while it is a simplified version, for whatever reason, it is, at least it has the one bonus level. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the PS1 version of Rayman 2 and Rayman Revolution has voice acting. Yeah, that's the other thing that the PS1 version has that I didn't mention. Ah, jeez. Ugh. Anyways, there is one other thing. There is one other version of Rayman 2, but it's not a 3D platformer. It's a 2D one, released on the Game Boy Color. Yeah, it's a 2D platformer that uses the characters and general setting of Rayman 2 in, instead of like making it a 3D action game. It's the one version that is completely different from the rest because, it's 2D, but I think it is worth bringing up because it reuses the same engine as Rayman 1 Game Boy Color, and even the soundtrack, which is based off of this game, which is based off of Rayman 2. It's an entire thing, it's an entire copy paste, but yeah. Anyways, that is going to be it for today. Can I enter? But yeah, that is going to be it for today. Next time on Rayman 2, we'll be going into the Fairy Glade to rescue Lee. See you guys then.